We have the vote. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell proudly announced today that Republicans have secured enough support to pass their sweeping overhaul of our nation's tax system. Arizona Senator Jeff Flake was the key holdout, but he backed the plan this afternoon. A final vote could come as early as tonight or even tomorrow. What's your take on this, Rachel?
Well, first of all, this is great news. Not the best bill, but this is, you can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I think that, we've seen a lot of talk from the Bannon side of the Republican Party and others like, throw these bums out, let's start new, let's get new blood. I think this makes the case for why someone like Mitch McConnell, who understands how to navigate the legislative process, can cobble these votes together. This was not easy to do. I predict also that if they made the right changes, we may see that it will not go to conference, that the House may just vote on what they have there because everyone's afraid of going back to the Senate where it's tough to get those votes. So I think you might see the House vote on the Senate bill as is.
Dana?
And that's when how a bill becomes a law. Yeah, and I think it's possible because I think they don't want to talk about it anymore. Yeah. They just want to they just want to be able to go home and say we did this. And then I think that what will happen is that the Republicans who used to be concerned about the deficit will hope that the economic growth is what they hope it will be, and then basically the Republicans and the Democrats will have a debate about the results.
That's right.
But I do think they want to get to yes and get it over with.
And I think that the results already of Trump's economic agenda are doing well. I live in Wisconsin, as you guys know. I have brothers-in-laws and sisters-in-laws who are small business owners. They can't keep up with the orders. They're turning customers away. They're turning down jobs. Places that were the forgotten America. This is rural Wisconsin. Donald Trump has a lot of credibility on economics. He went out and sold this tax plan as it's going to help. I actually, though I wish it could have been more bold. I'm a big flat tax person. I wish we had gone in that route. But look, I think that this is going to...
I hope you're right.
I think it's going to...
I don't know anyone who actually understands it. And I've talked to a lot of people on the Hill. I talked to my accountant. What is this? No idea. I have really high hopes. I mean, there's only really one question from the last election, and that is how do you save the middle class, which is shrinking and dying younger and believes it's going to make less than its parents made. It's a disaster. And so everything the federal government does has to be focused on fixing that one problem. And I really hope this bill does that.
I don't think it does.
Well, I guess we'll see. I guess I am very bothered that that's not obvious going into this.
But when you when you let that money come back overseas and you encourage and incentivize companies to start building factories in America, that does make a difference.
I hope so. But then you've also seen companies making more money than any time in history, and we still have persistently high permanent unemployment, like 100 million people, and wages are still stuck. So I hope that's true.
So I agree with you, Tucker, which is a rarity in America, because I do think that this bill is missing how you deal with the middle class. And everything in this bill that was taken out of it, all the things they repealed, were things that benefited middle class, like, for example, being able to deduct your student loan interest rate. But, Greg, your turn.
Oh, thanks. This is tax reform the way shaking up a can of Coke is Coke reform. This is not an overhaul. It's not reform.
I agree.
Whoever wrote sweeping reform needs their head examined. This is more liberal than it is conservative.
No, I disagree.
The top 1% provides 40% of the federal income tax revenue. Is this helping them or hurting them? It's hurting them. I think the corporate part is fine. I'm for that. The individual thing is a mess. It's a mess. And trying to sugarcoat it is hilarious. Good luck, but it sucks. And I think I agree with you. It's like I talk to people and I said it's like trying to untangle your iPhone earbuds. When you're trying to go like, what? And then you have to do this, and then wait, then you do this. Oh, so we're going to give you this, but then we're going to take this back. Oh, no, but then you can have that. That's what this is. We want something simple, as you said in the break, something bold. We have an opportunity to do something bold. We talk a great game. We talked a great game for decades. And then we get the opportunity, and what do? This oatmeal, this bland, pale oatmeal.
But you can't
Touchdown, America!
Greg, you cannot do the bold reform that you and me and all of us here want.
Not me. Count me out.
Count him out. Okay, fine. But you cannot do that without the Senate changing the rules because they had to fix this
if you were willing to cut
You just got to come to the table. Thank you. If you came to the table and worked with Democrats and Republicans, you could pass real reform. Ronald Reagan did it in the 80s.